Cleanup operations begin in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian in Martinique. And in sport, Jamal Hamilton called up ahead of the second test against India. I'm Ricardo Roberts, and this is Caribbean in 10 for Wednesday, August 28. I'll be back with the details after the break.
So we have to think a moment and allow ourselves to come back to normalcy or come back to our senses, because oftentimes, in this natural content of the flesh, we're drawn to do things of the flesh that are not God's way.
Like say, for instance, if someone is taken away from us before their time, and you're sitting there, you're praying and praying, and when God don't answer you and save that person's life.
Our guests today who are joining us to talk about this new phenomenon. It is a phenomenon. Yeah. It's all over the world. It's not just in Las Vegas where we are today. So Matt Terrell, welcome to the show. You're the studio manager at Orange Theory. And Scott Kramer, you're the fitness coach. How did you guys learn about Orange Theory?
I learned about Orange Theory about 5.5 years ago, but one of my personal trainers was asking me to help him to help people in pre-sales.
Residents of Martinique are mopping up from the heavy flooding caused by Tropical Storm Dorian yesterday as the storm continues on a path towards the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Now, while the system largely spared islands in the Eastern Caribbean as it passed Monday night and yesterday, there was substantial rainfall in Martinique. Dorian left behind flooded streets and downed trees as it passed the French island. Now, among some of the other damage caused was a road collapse in River Piot on the southern end of Martinique. Flash flooding was also reported across that town. Tropical Storm Dorian is now in St. Croix's doorstep, with forecasters saying it could become a hurricane soon. In the latest advisory at 11 a.m., it was located about 25 miles southeast of St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands and heading northwest at 13 miles per hour. That motion is expected to continue for the next day or two, and on the forecast track, Dorian should move near the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and then continue over the open Atlantic well east of the southeastern. Now, Tropical Storm Dorian is carrying maximum sustained winds near 70 miles per hour, but forecasters say it's expected to become a hurricane later today and continue strengthening during the next few days over the Atlantic waters. In other news, the Joint Trade Union Movement, JTUM, in Trinidad and Tobago is standing behind trade unionist Watson Duke, who was detained on Monday by police allegedly over statements he made several months ago. Duke, who is president of the Public Services Association and leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, complained of feeling unwell after being taken into custody. He is warded at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex in Mount Hope. Speaking to the media after visiting Duke on yesterday, JTUM leader Ansel Roger said his detention was politically motivated. TTT's Ian Wason reports.
JTUM leader Ansel Roger says the government is attacking the trade union movement and they will not sit idly by and let it happen. He called it a frontal attack on the trade unions, and police are just being used as tools.
When you examine the claims that we heard that he is accused of making seditious statements, we found it to be very frivolous.
He said Watson Duke's detention is just a start and others would be targeted. He further stated the action would not be tolerated.
It is about understanding that all of us are workers, are in the same boat. It is understanding that the government is against the trade union movement, and any trade union leader finds himself or herself under attack in this era of spite and vindictiveness must be responded to as a matter of duty by all serious trade unionists.
Mr. Rouget cited Mr. Duke's political aspirations as one of the reasons for his detention.
The Bahamas Doctors Union, BDU, has given notice it intends to seek a vote to strike or action to press for resolutions to outstanding issues. Now, this is even as the government moved to end their strike by filing the matter with the Industrial Tribunal. Labour Minister Dion Folk has said he has referred the dispute to the tribunal as it had affected and threatened the public interest. And once the matter is referred to the tribunal, anyone participating in the strike must stop immediately until the panel makes a ruling. But the union's president, Dr. Melisande Bassett, says while the government may have won the first battle, the war is still ongoing. She said, quote, "We have been denied the legal right to exercise our right to industrial action because we have not been able to have conversations. We have been seeking advice from all across as to what is our next step. Today we want to let you know that this may be a small battle that seemingly they have won, but the war is still being waged and we will not stop." End quote. The doctor's concerns include not being paid for working on holidays and not receiving contracts of more than 3 years. The union president added that there are several outstanding matters that the doctors will pursue, including the reported removal of intern housing and allowances. And stay with us, your Midday Sport is next. Jabbar Hamilton has been called up to the West Indies team for the decisive second test against India after Shane Dorridge was ruled out of the series with an ankle injury. Now, Dorridge sat out of the opening test at the Vivian Richards Cricket Ground in Antigua last week when the hosts suffered a 318-run defeat inside 4 days as Shea Hope stood in with the gloves. With Dorridge now returning to Barbados to continue his recovery, Hamilton has been included in a 13-man squad announced yesterday. The uncapped 28-year-old Leeward Islands Hurricanes gloveman has played 80 first-class matches and accumulated 173 dismissals. He averages 26 with the bat and has scored 600s. Meanwhile, Kemo Paul has returned to the squad after recovering from the ankle injury that kept him out of the series opener. Fast bowler Miguel Cummins, who replaced him, has been dropped after a forgettable display in Antigua where he failed to take a single wicket in 20 insipid overs. The two changes are the only ones to the Windy side as they go in search of a series-leveling victory in the match starting Friday at Sabina Park in Jamaica. Seamer Kemar Roach has moved into the top 10 of the ICC bowling rankings despite West Indies' heavy drubbing in the opening test. The 31-year-old bowled outstandingly to end the contest at the Vivian Richards Cricket Ground in Antigua with 5 wickets and was rewarded with a leap of 3 places to 8th. Now, Roach was magnificent in the first innings, taking 4 wickets. He took only 1 in India's second innings of 343 for 7 declared, despite another superb exhibition of seam bowling. That's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Until then, good afternoon.